Hey guys, in this video I'm going to be showing you what you need and what you need to know to create the best gym content. Today I have my wife, she's a Gymshark athlete, and I have everything you need in this backpack that I bring to the gym with us every single day. First on this video, we'll dive in and see what's all in this backpack, where you can get it, how much it costs, and some cheaper alternatives. And then we'll be going into some tips and tricks, angles and lighting and stuff like that on how to get the best footage while you're in the gym. So without anything else, let's get into it. We'll start on the outside. Right here, I have my softbox. This is newer brand. It's a 22-inch circular softbox. I'll leave the links down below on where you can buy everything and the price points. I'll post them up on the video. Here, we just got a nice cheap light stand. I think this goes up to 7 feet. Very lightweight, very compactable. And that's kind of what I was looking for a lot of this gear, is how easily compactable it was and how travel ready it was. And a lot of this is very small, minimal, but it packs a big punch. Okay, so first we'll start with the big guns. I shoot with Canon R6. On this, I have the extension side grip. I like this a lot because shooting handheld, typically the heavier your setup is, the easier it is to create stable footage. If this was really light, all these smaller movements would be a lot more noticeable. But since the lens and the extra battery that's included in the side grip makes this a little bit heavier, it's easier to steady, and steady footage a lot of the time is going to create smoother, better footage. Next is the lens that we're working with. A lot of the times people ask, like, oh, what camera is that? What camera is that? Because the quality is good. More times than not, it's the lens that's going to create great footage and separate that from good footage. So this is a Canon RF 28-70 f2. Basically, all that means is it's adjustable in zoom length, so it can go from 28 millimeters to 70 with the f-stop of 2. That means it can let in a lot more light and creates that blurry background that kind of makes footage look more professional and a little bit better. So this is my setup, the R6 with the 28-70, and this more or less lives on my camera body, and that's what I shoot with 90% of the time. When we are going for like specific type of looks in the gym, like let's say for a reel where we want more in-your-face POV videos, I'll go into a smaller lens, like this one is a 16 millimeter wide lens, and I'll pair that with the camera so we can get more intricate, cooler angles. Like we'll put this on a sled. From the sled's POV, I'll attach it to this right here, which is just a little clamp that I can put the camera on right here, and like for example put this on a barbell with this smaller lens to create a smaller setup. So this can be on the barbell, so you can like have the POV of the weights as you're squatting. This will move with you, which is really cool. It changes up the point of view and gives a cool perspective on the video. Next is batteries. My light and my monitors and my other lights all run on the same type of battery, which are these NP batteries. And these orange ones I really like because they also work as an external battery pack. You can charge the battery and charge something else with a USB cord. And then this little thing will tell you how much battery is in it, which is always nice compared to just the black ones, which you don't know if they got juice in them or not. But I always keep lots of batteries. So I got 4 on these. And then with that being said, we're gonna go over to this light. I use an Amarin 60X, shoots 60 watts. And the X means it's variable in color, so I can make more blue light or more orange light. And compactability. This is the whole light itself right here. And you know, this is my hand. It's basically a square the size of my palm. And then this is where the batteries go on. It's pretty simple. This goes on right here. The batteries plug straight into this. And then this. Then you screw this bottom piece back on. And then this just goes right on your light stand like this. And since we're at the light, let's go ahead and talk about the softbox. The softbox is really nice. It's compact. The setup is very easy. The teardown is just as easy. And what this does is makes this light a lot less harsh. As you will see, this thing can get very, very bright. And that's not always good because it creates a lot of shadows, and it can look bad. You know, if there's too much light, that's just as bad as if it's too dark. You know, you gotta balance it and create the right exposure. And this is a big part of it. This is a softbox. It has this white thing over the end of it to disperse the light and make it not as harsh, create a little bit less of shadows, and just make it more manageable and more appealing to look at. So we go from that to this. And then it's an adjustable light. We can change the dim, really bright, and then we can also change the color of the light from more orange to like we can simulate a sunset with this, or we can match the lights around us by going more blue. Typically, I'm at 52 Kelvin, and Kelvin is a unit of measure for this. And then I usually run the light at about 80% just so it doesn't drain the batteries as fast, and because it is pretty light around us. So that's it for this light setup. Easy, compactable, lightweight. I can bring this around the whole gym. Boom, there's the light. A couple other smaller things in this bag. I got a couple extra camera batteries. Can never have enough batteries. I think I have 8 at this point. I got the smaller lens. You always gotta have lens cleaners, that's a must. Always will have one in my pocket. I like to keep a little phone charger in here just in case, so I can pair with those NP batteries. My phone's running low. Always keep a variable ND filter in with whatever lenses you're using. This one and then the smaller one in here, of course. So like our gym just got a new outside setup, and let's say we're gonna go outside and we wanna film content, but we want 50 shutter speed. You're not gonna be able to do 50 shutter speed if it's bright outside. So you gotta keep this on so you can keep the right frame rate. And that's really all that's in my bag. So now I'm gonna go set up, see if Allie's ready to record, give you guys the key things I look for pre-setup and what I'm watching when I'm recording. We'll go into my camera settings and you'll see the process and see how it's all done. And then at the end of this, I'll throw in the finished product of what we did today. So leave any questions you have down below. If you are thinking about getting a camera, thinking about getting a new lens, thinking about getting a light, let me know. I'd love to help, give what opinions I can. Yeah, hopefully you're having fun with this video. All right, y'all, so we're gonna go over my video settings. First things first, we're gonna make sure we're in 4K. I like to shoot 60 frames a second because she's gonna be moving so fast, and we really want it to look like, I don't know, some people would argue and say you should be doing 24 frames a second for everything that's not slow motion. But to that I say, do what you like. And we just like this a little bit better. So this is what we're gonna do. So 60 frames a second, and the typical rule of thumb is double your shutter speed to your frame rate. But again, I want it to look almost like a video game. So I'm even gonna go a little bit higher than double and go 160 frames a second. And then to utilize this lens to the best of its ability, I'm gonna bring the f-stop down as low as it can go, which is gonna be f2. And then the ISO is really gonna be just whatever it has to be with the light up to it. So I'm gonna get the light up to 80%, look at Allie with the light, and then adjust it from there. But usually it's like 600 to 800. So let's set the light up, get Allie in position, we'll go from there. Okay, so for this workout, it's gonna be very simple compared to like a reel or something like that. We're gonna do a swipe workout. She's gonna do a hit swipe workout. And basically what that means is it's gonna be pretty smooth. Each video is gonna emphasize the exercise and the movement. So what I wanna do is best represent how she's moving so other people can watch the video and follow along and do the exercise the best that they can. So I'm gonna keep in mind keeping the video as smooth as I can, getting the right angles to see which body parts are moving what way, and of course creating the best color and the best light to make it look the most natural and the most appealing to watch. So let's get this light set up, go from there. So typical rule for lighting is you're always gonna want 45 degrees. So I'm gonna bring this light 45 degrees to her left. I'm gonna bring it up. So we also have downward lighting to emphasize the shadows and the muscles, and just to give her the best setup to look the best. And like I said earlier, I like 52 Kelvin. I'm gonna bring this light down to 75%, just so like her face isn't glowing really bad in any bad spots. And then keep this out of frame. So this is about 8 feet away, 45 degrees off to the side. She's gonna be facing this way, so we still have that angle. I'm gonna grab my camera, check the light. And then so I had, let's see what we can see here. So I have the light set to 52 Kelvin. So what I want to do in here is set the white balance so it doesn't move. So I'm going to bring this up to 52 Kelvin. And then I've noticed that sometimes in this gym, it creates kind of a greenish hue. So I'm going to counteract that by bringing this color wheel into the red and maroon spectrum just a little bit. And now it's not ever going to change. And I'm gonna look at her through the viewfinder, look at her with my real eyes, and if those look about the same, I'm happy. Because I really just want this to look like what I see with my eyes. And it's looking pretty dang good. So we're gonna go with that. So now, I'm gonna make sure I'm on the same page with her. Of course, this is gonna be for Instagram, so everything I'm gonna be shooting is gonna be vertical. So I'm gonna figure out what exercise she's doing so I can know the best angles to best capture her movements. What are you doing first? In the 60 frames a second, people often say like it looks like a video game or like looks fake, and I think that's cool. Everything's very smooth. You can pause the video and see exactly where everything's at. There's not going to be a whole lot of that motion blur, which I think is good for this setting. And also something else to keep in mind is you want as few people in the background as possible, just to be courteous and not have people in the background for distractions. So sometimes you just gotta work with that. All right. Three, two, one. So here, I'm just gonna work my way down so I can have a bottom up angle. And towards the end, I'm gonna start a slow zoom. Just keep it interesting. Focus on what's working. Get the expression of the face and the work. Pan back out, and that's the clip. There's typically 5 to 7 exercises in a swipe workout. So we just gotta make sure her and I are on the same page so I know what movements to expect. And whenever you're ready, go ahead. Start low. For this, I'm gonna have a slight down and up so her head is more or less in the same spot of the composition. But I'm doing this as smoothly as I can. Slight zoom at the end. And then sometimes stick around and get some of these good expressions. And these swipes are nice because the light really doesn't have to move unless she's going to be doing abs like she's going to later. And she likes to face the mirror, which is right in front of her, so I don't have to move the angles. Yeah, they're pretty nice, pretty easy. All right. So again with this one, I'm gonna do my best to keep her head in about the same spot on the frame. So I'm moving it up, then down to the right, then up, down to the right, or towards the end. I'm gonna zoom in, get some of that emotion, back out, and that's that. Zoom in at the end, see if anything funny happens. Now for abs, I'm gonna lower the light because she got lower. There's good. Move this to the side, and then I'll probably rotate out this way. So since the light is a little bit closer to her face, I'm gonna turn the ISO down. And whenever you're ready, make sure I don't get the light stand in my shot. And we're rolling. See the full movement. I'm gonna go over to the side now. Slow and steady. See the full body, that's good. Gonna hold, gonna zoom, and this will wrap right now. Next, we got the intro. So this workout is actually gonna be a sponsored pose for Muscle Tech. So this intro, we're gonna highlight Muscle Tech, and this is how we do this. So I'm gonna have her straight on, make sure the cup is in frame. We're gonna start by tossing the Muscle Tech bottle, and she's gonna hold it out to the camera. And when she holds it out, I'm gonna switch the focus from her eyes over to the bottle, and we'll go from there. So the lighting is good, framing is good. In 3, 2, 1.
Is that good?
Yep. And then from these, we can keep it rolling just because she's gonna cut it up in post. Okay? And then once she scoops, I'm gonna zoom in, capture that in the bottle, because that is the highlight. Like I said, she's gonna cut all this up.
Smells good.
So keep that rolling. Next, we got a little shaky shaky. Whenever you're ready, slight zoom, keep it interesting. Back out, boom. And zoom in on the drink. Boom. And then the last part of the intro is just gonna be a walking flex, set the tone for the video. Then that's a wrap. So I guess I didn't really cover it, but some of the keys for getting good video on this is, of course, having the right camera settings that you prefer and that your client prefers, having the proper background. We like going out this way because there's a lot of depth and there's some color back there, and that back wall at the very end is a nice mural. So we like that a lot better than just like right up against another wall where it's kind of blank and there's no depth of field. So that's something to keep in mind. The lower angles are really, really good to kind of make your subject bigger and stronger and just kind of more intimidating. So that's something to keep in mind when you're in the gym. Don't do too much lighting, because that can be a problem, especially with a light like this. You don't want too much lighting. Too much or too little is bad. And then just make sure you guys are on the same page. Communicate with your subject and with your client, because your job is to make what they have in their head come into life. So communication has got to be there. You got to be open-minded. You got to be able to see what they're seeing in their head and bring it to reality. We started with an iPhone, and then we started with the $500 camera with a $20 light, and slowly just keep adding to the arsenal, and now we're here. And then, you know, me compared to the next bigger, badder photographer, there's always going to be a bigger camera, brighter light, better lens. But as long as you're doing the best that you can still make some pretty cool stuff. So get after it. This lower angle. Can you go back a step? Okay. Are you ready?
Yep.
In 3, 2, 1. Boom. Slight zoom at the end. And that's really that.
Let me see.
We've never in the history done this on the first try. 3, 2, 1. Three, two, one. All right, folks, so that is how I record a Gymshark athlete and how we make good content that she posts nearly every day. If you have any questions, leave them down below. I'll be more than happy to answer. Hopefully you enjoyed this video. Hopefully this was kind of helpful. Yeah, enjoy.